Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of MadMan Film Room right here on the MadMan Sports Network. Today we're talking about the Browns. Fair warning before I even start, I'm going to probably ramble for about 3 to 4 minutes. So if you want to get right to the film breakdown, I'd recommend probably just skipping ahead a few minutes because I just want to talk about this team before I really get to the film. And then side note also guys, please feel free, I put it in the corner. I usually don't plug it, but I'm going today. Please follow on Twitter. Please go to our website and check it out. It would really just, it's a better way to get more content out. I can really only get 1-2 videos out a week, but writing more articles, getting more tweets out there, and if I get more followers, I'll be more motivated, kind of common sense right there. So would really appreciate a follow there, would appreciate if you guys, but appreciate all the support here. So, everyone's talking about the Browns this offseason, but really all we're talking about is their offense. We're talking about, Jarvis Landry. They traded for Tyrod Taylor, Baker Mayfield, the number 1 overall pick. They went and drafted Nick Chubb and signed Carlos Hyde to add to their offense. Josh Gordon's coming back. Everyone's talking about the offense. And then so when we talk about them, we're like, wow, all those offensive improvements, maybe they'll win 4, 5, 6 games. And people are kind of forgetting that this defense was pretty good last year. And this is a defense that's just top-bottom, covered with young players. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Jamie Collins is obviously great. They went out and they added E.J. Gaines, pretty solid cornerback as well. So they have some veterans on this team. And they did lose Danny Shelton, I'm aware of that, but I think they're going to be okay. This team is still just littered with young, prospering talent. I really want to focus on the first, second-year players. And when you consider the fact that their offense should just be able to move the ball, just for some context before we start. Last year, they were dead last in the league in time of possession, which meant this defense was on the field more than any other team. Leads to fatigue and, obviously. Also, this team, by far and away the most giveaways in the league. I think their turnover margin was like an extra 1 per game after I think Denver was 31st. It was such a big discrepancy, it wasn't even close. So this defense was put in bad situations. They still managed to only be 13th in yards per game allowed. That's pretty good considering those circumstances. Yes, they were last when it came to giving up points per game, but that had a lot to do, again, with the time of possession, being on the field for so long. Deshaun Kaiser throwing so many interceptions. This was such an atrocious offense. And let me tell you guys, this defense now, with an offense that will actually keep them off the field more, could really be elite. So we're going to focus first on the star of the defense, really, the number 1 overall pick from a year ago, Myles Garrett. Right here, you're going to see this first play. This is just going to take a look at what he was drafted for, his pass rushing ability. And what I was really impressed with this play is, look at where he's lined up. He's really lined up as a 3-tech, but he's kind of lined up pretty close to this left tackle here, almost like he could be lining up. It looks like he's going to attack this B gap right here, and then he ends up shifting his body over to the other side, if you just keep watching, so quick. And it's really deceptive. Number 77 there was not ready for that. And then he swipes away the center and comes right in for a sack. That is pretty special. Again, how quickly he deceives the center and the way he just arm swipes away the guard and arm swipes away the center. That right there is why he was drafted number 1. We knew he could do that. And if anything, he's only going to get better in his sophomore season. But we all knew about Myles Garrett. Again, number 1 overall pick. Let's talk about some of the other unsung heroes on this Browns defensive line. The reason, again, that I'm not concerned about the loss of Danny Shelton. 3rd round pick last year, I believe, Larry Ogunjobi, out of Charlotte, was one of my favorite sleeper prospects coming in, and he really lived up to it. He was a very nice player and displayed really an ability to be both an effective pass rusher and an effective run stuffer. So you're going to see him lined up right over the center here, and watch the way he just clogs this running lane and forces number 30 to the other side. Again, he sees where the play is developing right away, and even though he doesn't necessarily get a stop, right here, yeah, that's where he wanted to go. Ogunjobi said, absolutely not, and that ends up being a very minimal gain. He is a very skilled player, only 24 years old, and I'm just going to keep letting you guys know how old these guys are so you can hear how absurd it is that they're all so young, so fresh, and yet all so ripe to be improved this year. Next, we have Emmanuel Ogbah, 2nd-round pick from 3 years ago, entering into his 3rd season now. He's somebody who, again, is still figuring out his game, but is just so gifted athletically, and definitely they will find ways to use him. You're going to watch him right here on the left, and it's funny, if you want to watch this a few times, Myles Garrett does a great job on this play as well, so this isn't even to pinpoint him. This isn't really technically sound, but watch the way he just manhandles this left tackle, or this right tackle, left tackle. and gets in there for the sack. That is just purely, he just has him beat. That's just pure, a strength advantage, utilizing his leg strength advantage, the way he just drives him back, and then understands right when to disengage, to come in, sees when Matt Stafford is trying to get away. He has those very long arms, so he's able to kind of make that wrap around. Obviously, Garrett played a key role there too. And again, as he continues to kind of work on really hand usage, hand technique, and understanding how to harness his physical gifts, he could really break out this year and be a key player on this defensive line. You're not going to believe it, but we're not done with the defensive line. We still got a few more players to go. From the same draft class, Carl Nassib, 25 years old, drafted a round later, has also been steadily improving as the years go on. And maybe one of the reasons I'm making this video is I was such a fan of the Browns' draft philosophy the past 2 years of just loading up on talented defensive front seven players, young talented players, to just be able to rotate in and out. So you're going to watch him right here, and watch the way he just handles this double team so well, drives it back a little bit, and then clears up some easy tackling lanes for number 52 and number 26, Kindred there. Again, because he handles it so well, he's got them both. He's got this, this tight end and this tackle, both just handled. They both need to focus so much attention on him, and that's why everyone else is able to come in and get some clean tackles, and why that ends up being a no gain. It was really just Nassib he's just so strong and really does a really nice job of kind of utilizing both of his arms to the best of his ability and having just really good leverage, has really strong hands, obviously, the way he was just handling two NFL players with one arm each and was just unfazed. Very impressive stuff. We'll see one more reason here why Nassib is such an effective run stopper. This right here, I'm just very impressed with the athleticism. The way, just watch this play once, and then we'll kind of look at it again. The way he gets around, comes in to make the stop there. Even though he doesn't necessarily read it properly, he has to go around the tight end. He's too strong there, so he gets around. And then right here, he's off balance. Danny Woodhead has a pretty clear lane, and he just dives in, wraps him up so well. That is just pure athleticism, really, and just having range and ability. He's just such a good tackler. And again, whether it's commanding those double teams and clogging up running lanes, or coming in and utilizing his athleticism and his, range, his ability to just pursue ball carriers to help make big stops. Carl Nassib has really just been, I'm not going to say that he's over-exceeded expectations, but he hasn't he hasn't been a bust either or anything like that, obviously. He was drafted in the 3rd round, and he's been exactly what you'd hope a 3rd-round defensive end would be, and that's all you can really ask for, and I can definitely see him marginally improving this season. We finally reached the end of the defensive line with the last pick, and this one is a little more volatile. Makayla Brantley, entering his 2nd year now. A 6th-round draft pick that really would have been taken in the 3rd, maybe even the 2nd round, if it wasn't for some conduct issues he had at Florida, which seems like every player that goes to Florida now has conduct issues. I don't know what's going on there. But he's a very talented player, and again, this will wrap up just what I've shown you now. They have so much talent that they can rotate in and out, confuse offensive lines with all of his talent. Watch right here just how quickly he gets by this center and comes in to make a big run stop behind the line of scrimmage. Now, yes, the play, obviously, it doesn't really seem like anyone's really, accounting for him, but it's really just that quickness, that first step. He gets right around him, tosses him aside because the center's more focused on him. The pulling guard here doesn't notice him, but he breaks right through and makes a nice, easy stop. He's just a very quick and physical type of player. So I'll be the first to admit there is a weakness on this Browns defense. It is the linebacking core, but Joe Schobert's a player, well, actually, no, it's really not weak. They have Jamie Collins. What am I saying? Wow, ignore that first part. And aside from Jamie Collins, I was a fan of Joe Schobert as I watched him on film. He is nothing special. He is not, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's the next Luke Kuechly or the next Patrick Willis or anything like that. But what he is he's a smart player who is, just has a solid ability to cover quicker running backs. He's physical. I really just always noticed him. It felt like he was in the right place at the right time. So here's a few plays right here. Watch him. He's going to end up being responsible for Danny Woodhead, and he's going to close in well, display some nice ball skills and some nice reading ability here as he breaks up that pass. Again, look at the way that he kind of, as Danny cuts, he's ready for it. He's stride for stride with him right there. That's very impressive for a bigger, athlete, and again, for someone who's only entering his 3rd season, he's still only 25 years old. He displays some pretty good football IQ. He knew that he saw the play developing, and he went in and made a stop there. Now, the Browns have a very deep cornerback core. Again, I mentioned they added E.J. Gaines earlier. They went and drafted Denzel Ward, who I'll talk about later. And also, I'm a pretty big fan of Breon Body Calhoun, who's in his 3rd season now, an undrafted free agent. And again, I don't think he's an elite cornerback. He's not Casey Hayward. He's not Jalen Ramsey. But there's a chance he'll be their 3rd corner. And he definitely has the skills to be a very solid slot corner at the very least. So you're going to see on this play here just solid coverage on a slant route. You're going to see Adam Thielen and him come in and just watch as he keeps up with him stride for stride and comes in and breaks up the pass. Again, now he's obviously not the type of guy who's going to be able to shut down Thielen for a whole game or shut down Antonio Brown for a whole game, but that's not what they're going to ask from him this season. He's in his 3rd year now. The fact that he managed to be a starter at all, even though it was on the Browns, is impressive for an undrafted free agent. And going into his 3rd season, I can see him making some strides and just being a solid, very solid role player for this team. Now let's talk about another former 1st-round pick, 2nd-year player, Gibreel Peppers, who, I'll be honest before I start, I did think he was overdrafted a little bit. I thought he was closer to a 2nd to 3rd round talent for reasons that he proved this year. He's not great in coverage just yet. His football IQ, he's still working on it. But what he did display is what they probably drafted him for, just being a physical presence. And here's a few examples of that right here. You're going to watch the ball get thrown and watch him come in and just lay out the receiver here, and that ends up being an incompletion, as you can see the ball rolling over there. Again, just when he does get in position, he is a physical force. That's a hard hit right there, and that's what he did. That's when you saw his pass breakups throughout the year, that's what it was, just him being physical, and especially now they have some more secondary players they can work with. He can be a very nice box safety. Another year of coaching, and I can definitely see him starting to kind of reach that potential and display why he was taken in the 1st round. So what's better than one explosive, versatile, young safety, you ask? How about 2? Derek Kindred, going into his 3rd season now, is basically not quite as athletic, but he is, he does actually have that football IQ going for him. So this play right here, and fair warning, he's going to whip on the tackle, and that is an issue. But I'm more impressed with the closing speed, the pursuit, and his ability to kind of read this and have a very explosive first step. Watch, keep an eye on him here, and keep an eye on how he ends up making what could have been an impact play if he just finished the tackle. He gets around the edge really quickly, and he closes in, can't quite wrap him up, and that is an issue. You got to make that tackle. But the fact that he's the one that gets around and manages to just get around, sees what the tight end is doing there. That was his responsibility. He knows now that tight end is he knows now it's either play action and he can come in and make the sack, or he's got to make a run stop. He reads it right. And again, if he just finished the tackle, that's a super impressive play. Still, I'm here to focus on the positives, and if he can kind of just work on that, and next year he can make plays like that where he actually finishes, that will pay huge dividends for this defense. And now here's the crazy thing, is that the Browns went ahead and added 4 talented rookies who could all make an impact on this defense, along with all those young players I just showed you. And that's not even including, again, the veterans like Jamie Collins and E.J. Gaines that are on that roster. So, again, I'm not going to talk about Jannard Avery in this video. You want to see him, watch my defensive rookie sleeper video if you want to see what I have to say about him. I didn't really feel like doing that a second time, so you can see how I feel about him. And of the 4 rookies the Browns added that I'm going to talk about, defensive rookies, he is my least favorite of the 4. I still like him. I just don't like as much as I like these other 3 players. So first is Denzel Ward. Keep an eye on him in the top left corner, or top right corner, sorry. He is physical. That's the first thing. He is a freak athlete. I think they should have drafted Bradley Chubb, if we're being completely honest, but what's done is done, and that doesn't change the fact that Ward will be an immediate solid addition to this team. Great culture fit. Watch this first play right here. Again, the closing speed and the hit he delivers. He comes right in, even though he's not, he's small in that tight end. He's not afraid to attempt to lay him out. And again, the closing speed. He gets beat sort of initially, but he doesn't let that play be much more than a few yard gains. He is going to fit right in with this physical smash mouth culture that the Browns are trying to build. What's insane is that Denzel Ward is only 21 years old, and maybe that's why I was underselling him a little bit pre-draft, and maybe why I'm starting to be a little more sold on him. Despite that, watch, again, the speed, the athleticism, the awareness, the pursuit as he makes this play. Keep an eye on him right there. He gets around the pick play, avoids all of that, comes in, and makes the stop. Looks like he even ends up breaking up that pass. Whether he broke it up, whether they call that a catch, that's at most a half-yard gain. That is just everything you want to see from a rookie quarterback right there. His closing speed is absurd. He is such a good athlete, very good in coverage, and again, physical. He's a little undersized, and that doesn't stop him from trying to deliver the heat. You gotta love what you've seen from him. So one more right here. This time he is going to get the sack. And keep an eye just on how quick he is, how quick his first step is, and again, just how effortlessly he makes it look as he gets past his left tackle to make a sack here. Solid hand usage as well. Tosses him aside, comes in. Now, you see there kind of the hand tackling he's trying to do. Maybe that won't work if he's especially trying to tackle division rival Ben Roethlisberger or somebody like Cam Newton. But I'm more focused still, again, on just his solid step and the way he just creates leverage, gets around that lineman with ease, uses his hands well again. Needs to develop an actual array of pass rushing moves. Definitely needs to work on some things, but I thought the third round was right where he should have been drafted. And the whole point here is he will not be asked to do much. He's not going to be a starter on this Browns defensive team. He'll be a situational pass rusher that can give some of the other guys some breaks, and I think he'll occasionally be able to make some plays. And finally, just when you thought the Browns defensive line couldn't get any more loaded, I don't understand how undrafted free agent Trenton Thompson went undrafted. Maybe there's something behind the scenes I don't know about. Maybe there's an injury I don't know about. Keep an eye on him right here, though. This is a big, strong, physical presence and somebody who is surprisingly agile and balanced despite being huge. Only 22 years old. Chad Thomas, only 22 years old, by the way. Keep an eye here on how he kind of just contorts his body to make this run stop right here. Just turning himself all the way around. You know, the left tackle has complete leverage here on him, and he just manages to shift his body completely to the other side. Right now, this left tackle is on top of him. Look at the leg strength, the hip strength, the core strength to stay up and make that stop. That is just unbelievable. Again, maybe in the pre-draft process, he admitted to the fact that he used to microwave gerbils or something, because how did he go undrafted? It is mind-boggling. So here's one more right here against a team called Alabama. You might have heard of them. They're pretty good at football usually pretty good at the offensive line. And just watch his hand usage here again to force a pressure. Does a really good job wrapping himself around. Doesn't quite have the speed to catch up with Tua Tagovailoa or whatever his name is. Maybe I should know that, but not really too concerned yet. We'll worry about that next year. But again, I'm just impressed with his physicality, the wrap around there. And yeah, he doesn't get in and complete the tackle, but that's not really his job. And again, like Chad Thomas, he's not going to be dependent on to be a starter, but if he can just be another rotational player, I really hope he makes the roster and he gets to just see some playing time. And if so, everyone will just keep being fresh. You just keep rotating these guys in and out. This defensive line now has possibly 2 starting units. It's like, remember Kentucky basketball a few years ago when they had like their first set of starters and their second set of starters? That's basically what this Browns defensive line is like. And I don't know if you paid attention to the Super Bowl last year, but that's basically one of the reasons why the Eagles were so good. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. That would be absurd. But again, you look at this talent and you just contextualize it. Take the fact that all of those players I just showed you, you can nitpick some of those plays I showed you. I'm sure people that are more nuanced than I am can go in and actually say, well, Brian, what he actually did here is his hips weren't quite at the right angle, blah, blah, blah. Oh, his hands actually should have been an inch down that way instead of up way. That's fine. The whole point is they were all effective despite being so young. They've all had a year, another off season to work on their game. And the biggest, most crucial part is this Browns offense should be at least competent. It's not going to be the Packers. It's not going to be the Patriots or the Saints. Whether it's Tyrod or Baker Mayfield, though, decent offensive line. In fact, I'd say top half of the league. Really good receiving corps suddenly. Solid young tight end. 3 running backs that you can rotate throughout. If their offense can at least just be ranked 20th in the league, you're going to see this defense being talked about as one of the elites. And I'm telling you that right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you keep up. Preseason is right around the corner, and I'll be sure to get some videos out there. Definitely will be looking at the rookie quarterbacks, other rookie players as well. Should be a lot of fun. See you soon.